What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel where we pick NFL underdog picks every week of the NFL season. We are coming off a great week 5 where I went 6-2-1, and I'm looking to keep it going as we enter week 6 of the NFL season. There are some great lines out there right now, so I don't want to waste too much time before we get into it. If you're new to my channel, then I'm going to quickly explain how I do things here. I'm going to pick the NFL underdogs that I'm going to be betting this week, and I'm going to use one stat to describe why I'm picking that team. I believe that you can use one stat to define every pick you make in the NFL, and I'm going to show it to you. So let's start locking in those picks. We're going to start off with one of my favorite underdog teams this year, the Jacksonville Jaguars, who open as 2-point underdogs against the Indianapolis Colts, the same Colts team that they thumped early on in the season 24-0. The Jags are coming off that loss to the Texans. The Colts are coming off a very sloppy win against the Broncos in what can only be described as probably one of the most boring NFL games I've ever watched in my life. And I gotta tell you, I'm really shocked that the Jags are underdogs in this game. I think it just goes to show that the public has really dropped off the Jags after that loss to the Texans. And that loss to the Texans, I mean, the Texans just have the Jags' number. The Texans have beat them consistently over the years. I think it's an outlier to the Jags season, and it just shows that people have sort of fallen off the Jags bandwagon, except this guy. Stat of the game for this: Jacksonville is 13-2-1 against the spread when playing the Colts. I'm going to lock Jacksonville in at 2 points, and I might choose to play the money line closer to Sunday. Let's keep it going. Let's talk Jets at Packers. The Jets are 7 or 7.5 point underdogs, depending on the book that you want. You have to pay a little bit more for the 7.5. The Jets coming off that win against the Dolphins. The Packers coming off that loss against the Giants in that London game. This is a Jets team that can put up some points, and they're going up against a Packers team that can score in the first half, can't score in the second half. Stat of the game for this game: the first half all season, the Packers have scored a combined 65 points. The second half of the season, the Packers have only scored 32 points all year. 20 of those points coming in the game against the Patriots. You subtract that 20 from the Patriots, the Packers have only scored 12 points all season in the second half. I like the 7 points that they're giving the Jets. I think that's more than enough for the Jets to cover. Who would have thought that I'd be betting the Jets when the season started? But I am going to lock that bet in right now. Jets +7 against the Packers. Talking Ravens at Giants. The Giants, 6-point home underdog. And we all know I love my home underdogs. Giants are just begging people to bet against them. 4-1 on the season, and they've beaten some pretty good teams. But the biggest stat of this game to me comes in the form of defensive coordinator Wink Martindale, who's playing against the Ravens, his former team. I don't know if you can put a price on that. The guy's a genius defensive coordinator, has been throughout his career. He's seen Lamar Jackson up close for a lot of years during his time in the Ravens. Giants being given 6 points. I'm going to lock that bet in right now. Before I keep going, I just want to say, if you like this content, please give it a like, give it a subscribe, comment down below. Also, I post daily pics to my other social media. We got Instagram, we got Twitter. I post daily NFL pics, MLB pics. The NHL season's finally started to kick off. Give me a follow on both of those. I've also started to post recap videos, going over the bets, seeing what my record was. Again, give it a like, give it a subscribe, comment down below. You like my bets, you don't like my bets, just want to talk football. All comments are welcome. Let's keep looking at some underdogs. I gotta tell you, I've been riding this train ever since the beginning of the season. We're talking the 49ers going into Atlanta against the Falcons. The Falcons being given 5.5 points as a home underdog against the 49ers team. What more can be said about Atlanta? They've been an absolute moneymaker for me this season. Easy stat for this game: they're 5-0 against the spread. I'm eventually going to get caught with this team. They're not going to go perfect against the spread all season, but they're being given a lot of points at home, going up against a 49ers team that, if healthy, could be one of the best teams in the league, I think. But they're not healthy. I think this game ends up being closer than what people think it might be. Again, Falcons are 5-0 against the spread. I've been riding them all season. I'm going to keep it going until they show me I shouldn't. I'm going to lock the Falcons in as 5.5-point underdogs right now. There's 2 games this week with 2 teams that I don't like at all this week. And I'm really betting the number more than I'm betting the team. First game we're going to talk is that Bucs at Steelers game. The Steelers as 8.5-point home underdogs against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't like this at all. Again, I'm playing the number more than I'm playing the team because the Steelers looked absolutely dreadful against the Bills. They could not move that ball, and an argument could be made that Tampa Bay's defense is better than Buffalo's. But giving the Steelers 8.5 points as home underdogs, the Steelers have been magic against the spread as home underdogs. Over the past 20 years, they're 17-4-3 against the spread as home underdogs. Again, not a huge fan of this. I'm playing the number. I'm not playing the team. I am going to be taking the Steelers as 8.5-point underdogs, and I'm going to lock that bet in right now. I said that there were 2 games that I didn't like this week. This is not one of them, but I got to tell you, it hurts me to say what I'm about to say because I'm looking at the Chiefs as 2.5-point home underdogs against the Bills. The Bills, a team that I absolutely love, I picked to go to the Super Bowl. Yes, I jumped on that bandwagon. But I can't ignore the numbers when Chiefs are home underdogs against another team. Stat for this game, this is the very first game that Patrick Mahomes is a home underdog against another team. That's pretty incredible. As much as I can't stand the Chiefs, you can imagine why. That stat is still undeniable. He's been favored in his last 41 home start, and against the spread, while being an underdog in general, he's 7-0-1. I can't ignore that number. Again, I'm playing the numbers. I'm going to close my eyes and pretend I'm not betting the Chiefs, but I am going to be taking the Chiefs as 2.5-point home underdogs. Not going to lie, I will not be sad if I lose this bet at all, but I am going to lock that 2.5 points in right now. I'm now going to talk about the second game that I really don't like. And again, I'm betting the number more than I'm betting the team here. I'm looking at the Panthers at the Rams. The Panthers being given 11 points against a Rams team. It makes me sick to make this pick. I can't stand the Panthers. They're a team that have absolutely bitten me in the ass all season. I picked them as possible underdog division winners in the South this year. That's a bet I'm going to have to own up to eventually in another video, I think. Baker Mayfield is benched. Matt Rule is fired. I did predict that last week, but it's hard to ignore the number. Being given 11 points against a Rams team that looks lost. The Rams team, I know there's such a thing as a Super Bowl hangover, but this Rams team, there's something missing. New coach, new quarterback. It won't even be Sam Darnold starting this game. He's not healthy yet. We're looking at PJ Walker making the start for Carolina. Here's the number I'm betting. Outside of the 11 points, let's sum this game up in one stat. Over the past 20 years, 32 teams have fired their coach midseason. Out of all of those teams that have fired their coach midseason, those teams have gone 15-17 straight up in their next games and 17-15 against the spread. I'm going to play percentages here and hope that those Panthers can cover the 11 points. It's a huge point margin. I'll probably be closing my eyes most of the time when I'm watching this game, but I am going to lock the Panthers in at plus 11 right now. Last underdog pick to talk about, we got the Cowboys at the Eagles. The Cowboys being given 6 points in a primetime spot against a division rival. Now, it's hard to look at history when you're looking at this game because Dak Prescott has owned the NFC East since taking over as a starter. Dak Prescott's not going to play this game. It's going to be Cooper Rush again, who's 4-0 since taking over as a starter from Dak Prescott. This is a hard game to pick for me because, again, I picked the Eagles to be division underdog winners at the beginning of the season. Makes up for my Panthers pick. But it's hard to ignore 6 points in a series where Dallas has mostly dominated. I think 6 points is a lot, especially against a Phillies team that usually lets off the gas in the second half. Stat for this game, since taking over as the starter for Dak Prescott after that season opener, Cooper Rush has led an offense that has scored in every single quarter that he started in, except for one. It's an offense that can roll through their running game, and I think it's going to keep up with the Philadelphia offense. I'm going to be taking the Cowboys as 6-point underdogs, and I'm going to lock that bet in right now. Bets are in. Week 6. Let's do a little recap quickly. We got the Jags as +2 against the Colts. We get the Jets as +7 against the Packers. We get the Giants as +6 home underdogs against the Ravens. I'm riding the Falcons as 5.5-point underdogs against the 49ers. We're rolling with the Steelers as 8.5-point underdogs against the Bucks. Crossing my fingers on that one. We have the Chiefs as 2.5-point underdogs against the Bills. I'm riding with the Panthers as 11-point underdogs against the Rams. I feel like I'm going to regret that one. And finally, I got the Cowboys as +6 underdogs against the Eagles. Hoping you have fun watching the videos. Hope you're locking in some bets with me. Again, check out my other social media. I'm going to leave the links in the descriptions below. See if I do make any other bets before Sunday hit. Sometimes the books throw a little bit of better points at us as the weekend progresses. Give this video a like, subscribe, comment down below. You like my videos, you don't like my videos, or if you just want to talk football. Everybody have a great week 6 of NFL football. Lock those bets in, and we'll see you next time.